Welcome back to the Compound Podcast. This is episode 96, presented by Parse Rum, brought to you by Parse Rum, presented by Parse Rum. I said Parse Rum before you could say Parse Rum. Parse Rum.
Rum.
Nice job, Ian. I'm proud of you for remembering.
Thanks, guys. We have a very special episode because it's brought to you by Parse Rum, just like every other episode. Every episode is special, but this one, Zack got a guest.
You guys,
Robbie Grossman joining the pod.
You guys got to let me flap my wings. Let me fly. Let me use my resources. I'll get
Let me see the numbers that ended on the Twitter poll, but I voted on the Twitter poll. It said like Zack promised he would get a guest, and I voted no.
I also voted no.
Yeah,
I also voted no.
52% no, 48% yes,
Yeah.
352 votes. So,
But you did it. We knew you
people don't have faith in you.
What else is new? Doubted my whole life.
That's hilarious that we all voted no.
I'm not.
It got up to 59 at one point. I felt bad for Zack when it was like
You're like, I
46.
might try to revote.
Well,
Can
the
I
best
just
part
say-
was that it almost didn't happen.
True.
Can I just say that Robbie he had a year, such an overlooked year last year. 2020 in the show is fucking sick. With 20 doubles, hitting the leadoff, playing every day, 156 games, almost over 700 plate. That dude had a fucking year. He almost had 100 walks too. I think 96 I saw.
Dealing with Zack, talking to him every day.
He never really shows emotion, and him chasing 2020 and like when he got it, we were in Chicago for the last weekend, and you can just tell like he was a little kid again, like how excited he was, and it was like really cool to because I'm pretty close with him, and like to see him go through that like all year and grind through it was just like that's pretty sick.
That's cool. And that's a dude who's playing every fucking day. No offense to the Go Tigers, but you guys, your record wasn't great. And he was playing every.
Whoa.
Ricochet shot. Ricochet.
Weren't the records pretty similar between us and the
Oh,
Go
no.
Cubbies?
I can tell you the Cubbies record was brutal.
Okay.
Not a ricochet shot, but that dude grinded every day. I'm saying it's not easy every day in September when you know you're out of it because the White Sox ran away with the division. And you're not even the wild card was, decided early to like go out there and grind your bag off, play every single day to lead off, not ask for days, still play 156. Like that's a baseball player that is so overlooked today.
Two things there. Like when you said not asking for days, there was a few days this year where he got pulled in like the fifth inning when it was like a really just out of hand game. And he was like legitimately pissed. Like he apologized to whoever went in. He was like, hey man, like I didn't ask for this. And we're like, Robbie, dude, you have literally played like 55 in a row. Like relax.
It's being a pro. It's being a fucking pro.
And him, again, back to his year, he is somebody who like you can learn so much from him. Because there was times this year where he was, close to, jumping off a cliff. But no matter what, he did not stay out of his approach. Like you said, he almost had 100 walks where no matter what, his 0 for 4 feeling was only 0 for 2 with 2 walks. And no matter what, he was taking his walks. He wasn't trying to swing his way out of it. And it was really impressive to watch as somebody who is, you paid attention to it and you're like, hey, he is not like moving his approach whatsoever.
He's one of those dudes that, he's going to get overlooked. He's been overlooked his whole career. But, if you're building a team, that guy's going to be out there every fucking day grinding. He's an asset. And the other thing is, if you have a young team with young dudes, you watch that guy go grind his bag off every day and show guys how to play. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like for him to take care of me the way he did and like make sure no matter what, like if the bus is at 1, he's texting me, hey, 12:30 Uber, I'll meet you downstairs. Like every single day, no matter what. And
he knew you needed it. Let's put it that way.
No, but he's somebody who like we joke around how I'm crazy, but like he enjoys it just as much as, one of us do. And it's cool. Like he's been around for a while and he's, like I said, he's at the field early every day and he wants to be there and wants to help guys. I meant to bring this up. I fucking forgot, but he had an interview when he signed and his main thing was trying to help younger guys. And just no matter without knowing anybody, they're like, oh, what made you, what was so appealing about coming here? And like, what do you bring? And he was like, my main goal is to help obviously the team win and then to show and provide an example of how to go about stuff for the younger guys. And that's what he did every day.
Yeah, he's got, I guess if he had 6+, he got probably 7+ now service time, but he's nine different parts of 9 seasons, but 7+ service time. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I want to get to his interview because it's really, really good. You guys want to yell about the Hall of Fame. So I want to give you the platform right now to yell about the Hall of Fame, please.
You don't want to get me started. It's ridiculous.
I'm giving you the platform right now to yell.
We could be all night because it's.
Hey,
I said it on last week's episode. I literally said if Big Papi gets in and Barry Bonds doesn't, disavow the whole Hall of Fame. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke now. I don't view the Hall of Fame as anything worth anything anymore. It's a joke.
Spin zone here. MLB did it, so they know that everybody would talking about MLB, so they got some spotlight on them.
You'd get everyone talking if you put Barry Bonds in. He's the best hitter of all time.
No, you can't spin it. You literally cannot spin it.
I have 2 things. One is, did any reporter, writer who had a vote come out and explain why they voted for Papi, but not one?
Not that I saw.
Okay. Number 2.
It literally does not make sense.
Number 2. Papi had a great career. He's unbelievable. I don't want to take away from him because he deserves it.
But he had a positive test.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
I don't think it wasn't a MLB test.
He was.
All right.
I think it was before. I don't think he had a positive test. We're not allegedly.
I did cocaine,
we're not
but
putting
the
that out
cops
there.
didn't test me positive for cocaine, so I didn't do cocaine. Like, what do you mean? Like, he did fucking roids.
We're
So
not
did
putting
Bonds.
it out there.
And if
Allegedly,
he's in, they're all in. Roger Clemens should be in. Sorry, Ian. I'm sorry. I told you I'm gonna get heated. I'm sorry. Go.
I have another thing. My other thing was, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a Legends Committee that can put these guys in next year, correct?
Is it next year? I thought they had to wait down. I thought it was usually old guys.
I thought they had to
do. I thought it was you had to be
Are you researching this? What's going on?
What do you want me to research?
What are you doing?
Gosh.
Are you searching Twitter?
I had to look something up for something else. What do you?
For who? Not for us in the middle of this podcast.
What would you like, sir?
Tell me how the Legends Committee works for the Hall of Fame.
It's by era. I believe it's like a mixture of players and coaches. I can try to get more information.
When can these guys be voted in by the Legends Committee?
Next year.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know. Thank you for joining us for a second. You can go back to whoever you're responding to. So, because of this stink that was put up in the last 2 weeks, whatever, they're getting in. There's no way they're getting left out now, right? They're getting in.
It's all because, so don't get me wrong, if Big Papi never had any roid talk around him, I probably don't argue this as much. But it's also, I saw a tweet and it was like the smartest thing I've seen someone say about the whole thing. The Hall of Fame is about the history of the game. In the history of the game, you're not putting in the best hitter of all time and the pitcher with the most. I think Clemens has the most Cy Youngs of all time, doesn't he?
That's 7. I can't imagine anyone has more than that.
You're taking away 2 of the best to ever play the game in this Hall of Fame, which is literally a museum. So you go to the Hall of Fame to learn about baseball. 2 of the best players aren't there. Pete Rose is in there. 3 of the best players aren't there. It blows my mind.
But someone said, do you even have a separate hallway or an asterisk next to it? Hey, played in the steroid era. But it's
but you could add so many guys to that.
And in the 80s when they're taking greenies and Coke, like you said,
exactly.
Still part of it. You can't do it.
That's the thing. It's not just the roid era. It's like you said, the greenies and all that. There was different eras for all these different things. And it's if you're putting anybody in that played in that era, put them all in.
Tom, what would you like to contribute here?
So the membership of the Today's Game Committee, which is what will come up next, it comes up in cycles. It does happen to be their cycle next year. Consists of 16 members of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, executives and veteran media members. The Hall of Fame Board of Directors appoints the committee. The hard part about it and why guys have struggled to get in, it's only 16 people and you need 12 votes. So that's a really, we've seen guys who are probably deserving get left out in the past just because of You know, if you have 3 people who vote against you, you're only going to get 1 vote left. I mean, it's tough.
I do really wonder how that's going to go. I had one more thing on this before we move on to the interview, and it was about Barry Bonds. It was about the Hall of Fame. And now I'm really struggling to remember it.
I was going to say, are you building this up, or you just
Nope.
did you forget? It sounded like you were like building it up. I was like, this better be pretty cool.
We can give some more light to your tweet, which was
that's what it was going to be. It was going to be. I had a tweet that really popped off, and my thought was, it would be really cool for guys that played 10 plus years in the big leagues, who like as part of like your pension vesting and doing the whole thing, that you then get to vote on who makes it into the Hall of Fame. And there's some people that responded on Twitter and were like, you should make it 15 years. You should make it 20 years. Okay. You wouldn't have anybody left. Okay. There's no one's playing that long anymore. Okay. It would be fucking, you'd have Miguel Cabrera and Bryce Harper and John Lester would be the only guys voting for the
Trout will be in it eventually. Like,
yeah, it's like, I can't get into that.
I don't think people realize how few people get 10 plus years. Like, it is a much smaller number than people would think.
It's maybe like 5 to 10 dudes a year that hit that number.
Well, that's also because it's service time manipulation. I mean, that's also something different. Like, I mean, how many guys play 10 years, and then how many guys actually get 10 years of service time?
Well, that's why you were saying 10 years of service time, right, Hap?
Yes. You have to play right now, the way things are set up, you have to play at least 11 full seasons to get 10 years of service. Anthony Rizzo's a great example. Anthony Rizzo has to get 2 days of service next year to hit 10 years because that wasn't manipulated. But it's
because guys still play to try to get to 10 years. Like 10 years is a huge milestone. So it's like guys continue, like they have the money to retire and like they have families, but they're like, I want to get to 10 years.
Yeah, guys are so grinding. There's a bunch of guys who are at that 8-9 year mark. I mean, Robbie's going to be in that situation. You know, hopefully he goes out there and balls again. He goes 2020 and gets another sick deal. But like, he's going to be on that cusp. He's going to have 8-9 years of time, and try to get another 2-year deal to take him over that mark. But it's just like that's, when you're grinding at like 8-9 years trying to get those last couple, it's a toughie. I've seen a lot of guys kind of in that window. Let's get to this interview. It was great with Robbie. It's going to be brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped is bringing you this interview. Okay. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with Manscaped. Who wants to start? Who wants to start? They actually got a very nice package from John Boy Media. That's full of Manscaped stuff. Do they have a new shampoo?
I was going to say, what's that going to do with Manscaped?
Do they have a new shampoo? Somebody tell me.
I don't know, but I use their
hydrating body spray. Hydrating body spray includes a premium deodorant.
The light is still the best feature that they have.
They have 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. See, I told you, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, and a free gift. Oh, this is the package. This is the ultra premium collection package. This is probably what I got. Ultra premium collection package, premium deodorant for your body, not just your balls. Hydrating body spray. If you have tattoos or issues with dry skin, they have 2-in-1 of body wash. They have a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, plus a free gift. 3-pack set of lip balm. I got to find that in the gifts in the package. Vitamin E, peppermint, eucalyptus oil.
Ian, if I'm ever going to do the bathtub ad for Roman, I'm going to use Manscaped first.
Yeah, you are. Wow. What a package that people should be going and figuring out how to get this thing. That's nice.
You get 20%
Ultra premium
off
collection, hot off the shelves. Yeah. Stop, Tom. 20% off. The code compound at manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping with code compound at manscaped.com. I wanted people to really understand what they'd be getting themselves into if they went to manscaped.com and put in the code compound to get 20% off. This is great. This is great stuff. I hope everybody's going to go check this out. And don't forget about the lawnmower 4.0. Thing's got a light on it, I'm pretty sure.
It does.
That's part.
You're pretty sure.
Let's get to the interview. Brought to you by Manscaped. This interview brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped.com, 20% off, code compound. Interview with Robbie Grossman. Thanks to Zack for pulling through. Zack You came through. We got a guest. Is this back-to-back guests now for us? Back-to-back guests, and the first Go Tigers guest, Robbie Grossman, joining the pod. Welcome. Thank you for being with us. Even though I can't believe Zack has like a friend to bring on the pod, huh?
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on. And anything for Shorty. Shorty's my guy.
I need you to tell us how often Shorty was in the clubhouse watching like swing videos, watching videos of guys throwing across the infield, maybe taking hacks in the clubhouse when everybody else is just hanging out.
Shorty's that guy that if some crazy play happens or someone hits a home run, like he's gonna show you as soon as you walk in. He's gonna be like, he's that guy's like, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? And they're like, yeah, Shorty, I saw that. And no, but he's always grinding on some kind of video or something out there.
See, you can't make it seem like that because you are just as bad as I am.
Well, first
you're
of all,
sending me swings from anybody.
Yeah, after you show up after I do. So when you get there, you're showing me that.
Okay. Because if I show up before him, I get the, what, did you fucking sleep here? Did you sleep here last night?
I mean, I think it used to be if you got there after a dude with 9 years, you were out.
Yeah.
You were sitting on the floor.
Yeah, but Robbie still goes about it as if he has 15 days of service time because he's there doing whatever, chopping it up with whoever at 12:43.
I like to be at the field, Shorty.
Zack, that's exactly what you would do when we played together. You're the first one at the field.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So I get yelled at if I'm there at 12:44 when I literally cannot get there any earlier. Like the security guards are not there.
There was a rule. There technically was a rule. You weren't supposed to be there X amount of hours before the game.
That's
what I'm saying. Following protocol.
You're a team guy, following protocol. Go ahead, Shorty. Start firing off questions.
Yeah,
I know you have some.
We've talked a few times where you've been around for however many years and you finally hit free agency, and you said it was just like kind of a bittersweet time for you. It's like you had choices where you wanted to go, but it wasn't really happening quickly. It was kind of far and few in between, but then it just kind of happened like that. Like, what was that process like?
And to make it to that 6 years of service time, it's tough. And when you get there, it is bittersweet. You made it there. You get to choose. You get to see who actually likes you and who wants you a part of their team. And thankfully you get a couple options to go. But man, it happens fast. It takes a long time, but it does happen fast. And you have to decide where you're going to play the next year or a couple of years.
At that point in your career, to actually hit 6 years, be able to choose a team had to be so different from the past points in your career and what it had been to then. Like that must have been such a different experience for you.
100%. Like you're about to go through something like that here soon, but it is nice to know who wants you out there and who wants you to be a part of their team. But it is a stressful time of deciding where you're going to play because you've never had that option of doing that. And just making sure everything fits for you and you like being there and who the coaching staff's going to be. And there's all kinds of things that go into it.
I feel like the hardest part, and I've never gone through it, but like you're getting offered all this money at certain places, but it's like, well, I don't want to go to this place and sit on the bench. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, where can I go make the right amount of money and go and produce and play every day?
For sure. And what my whole thing was I wanted to go into a situation where I got a chance to play every day, where I had a chance to build on what I've done and build on and maybe get another 2-year deal after that. And that was a big emphasis on where I was going to go and where I wanted to be.
So did you sign a 2-year up front? It wasn't a one with an option, right? It was a 2.
Just 2, no option. Yeah.
So fucking great. And you came off that 2020 year where you were fucking raking for 60.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we only played 60 games, and I was from day one of the season. I was like, I'm feeling it, and it was one of those things that kind of like my bad day, my bad stretch only lasted a couple days at a time instead of a week at a time, and I kind of rolled with it. And by the end of the season, I was like, man, I wish I had another 100 games to put up some numbers.
What was the biggest difference for you, like the last 2 years? Like 23 pumps this year, like, goddamn. What was the biggest difference between, early in your career and then, having putting a couple of years together, hitting a bunch of homers?
Getting to the field early with Shorty and hitting in the cage with him. That's what changed.
Yeah, having Shorty show you swing videos or what?
Great question. Early on in my career, I didn't know what kind of hitter I was. I thought I was just like, hey, hit the ball the other way into the gap. And then I ended up in Oakland and working with the hitting coach over there and how to use the ground. And I remember getting to spring training for the first time, and everyone's hitting off the low tee, like the very low tee. And I'm like, well, I've never done this before. And it took me a couple of weeks to kind of feel my way around it and master it. And then being around guys like Chapman and Olson and Canna and the way they talked about swings and the way they thought about not even just hitting the ball hard every single time and where they wanted to hit it kind of it clicked for me. And I was like, this is what I need to do. And I dove into it on 2020. I learned a lot in 2019, my first year. And then 2020, I kind of just dove into it. And I was like, look, this is what I'm going to do. And I tried to build on it last year, and even going forward, I'm going to do it even more.
Hap, kind of the same for you, but like as a switch hitter, is it interesting to talk to like both righties and lefties? And is it kind of different, like your approach from either side?
Yeah. Mine's way different because like I treat it as two different people, two different swings. Like my left-handed swing has so much more loft and like that low T deal for me lefty. Like that's a natural for me lefty. Like I wouldn't walk up to that T lefty and go, how do I get this ball in the air? But if I walked up to that T righty, be like, what are you going to do? Pound it in the ground? You hit the pitcher in the shins. I can do that with that pitch, but like actually elevating that pitch and getting it in the air is way different. So it's always interesting for me. Actually, I was talking to Riz today, and he had a new drill that he's working on that was pretty cool. But like, it's always so interesting to hear what makes guys click, because I know I've talked to some of those guys in Oakland, the way they talk about hitting the ball hard in the air all the time.
100%. And that was like one of the things they preached to me. It was like, what is your best swing? And then they were like, oh, double in the gap. No, my best swing left-handed is a home run into right center field. Like,
yeah.
Why am I not practicing that as much as I can and trying to hit balls at that trajectory and hit them hard? And just really diving into the stats over there. They're very, very analytical, as we all know, but all they cared about is how many times you swung the bat and how hard you hit the ball every time you swung the bat. And I mean, if you break it down, that's simple. And it was a big eye opener of just talking to the guys about what my approach should be up there every time I go, and it's to do damage.
And especially in the game today, there's no hits on the fucking ground. There's no hits on the ground. There's no singles because guys are standing all over the place. And even like there's a lot of where the guys are positioned, a lot of doubles get taken away from you. So you better hit the ball over somebody's head, or you better hit it hard as fuck if you want to get it down in the gap, because these guys are flying around. You playing the White Sox, they got 3 center fielders in the outfield when Eloy was down. It's like, what are we doing?
Exactly. And I'm a big believer in hitting the ball in the air now, but there is a fine line, and there's a way to dial it back in batting practice and in your early work, and that's something I'm really like honing in on right now and trying to master that. But that is interesting. You think of your swing. I was going to ask you about switch hitting. You think of your swing as 2 different swings on each side. See, I'm the opposite. I think I try to do the same thing on both sides, and I was always told like you can't do that. That's not the way to go about it. But that's for me, that's the easiest way. I can feel things on both sides. But I admire that. And do you use the same bat on both sides?
No. Wow, that's a great question. No, I don't. I'm a 2 different bats guy. But I've messed around with it a little bit. So I've been using the same stick lefty since I came up. When I came up in 17, I had an I-13 HL 34. And I guess at that time it was 34, 32. I don't know why I thought I was so strong. I've kind of dialed that back, so it sits like in the 31.5 range. But I've used that model since I came up. And then actually 2 years ago, I started messing with righty bats. I had Marucci make me one a couple years ago, and it was an I-13, but it was a little different. And then last year, Slugger sent me like a ton of different models. And I thought I wanted something that had more kind of like weight in the head. and I swung a bunch of different ones. I liked them, never really got in a groove. And then end of the year, because it was, we were kind of so far into it and I was playing every day. I was like, you know what? Send me some 31 and a halves. I was also struggling. I was hitting $1.60. So it wasn't hard to make a change. And I was like, send me the same thing, 33 and a half, like 31. And I started swinging that righty and raked for the last, month right-handed. And that was a real eye opener. Like I will definitely keep that going. Have you always been the same back guy or do you use two?
Man, I tried everything, but I was going to ask you, did you grow up switch hitting, or did you start one side and then later on you hit the other side, or how did your switch hitting come about?
I was 8 when I started working on it. I need you to answer all these questions back to me. I love talking switch. I was 8 when I started working on it. My brother was 6 years older, so he was 14, and he didn't stick with it, but I did. So I started working on it then. And then freshman year of high school, I had a little thumb injury, summer 8th grade going to high school, had a little thumb injury, and could only hit lefty in like an AAU game. So I had an AB, hit left on left, got a knock, and was like, I think I can do this. So freshman year of high school, never looked back. I switch hit the whole time. And it was kind of gross early, but developed. And then like junior year of high school, I found my pop lefty, started hitting homers. And then it was good. When I got to college freshman year, coach was like, hey man, you should only hit right-handed. You're not good enough lefty. And I was like, no, I can do it. I can do it.
Wouldn't you say your left side's your stronger side now?
The numbers would support that.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it was always interesting talking to guys like how they got switch hitting. And I think partly why I try to do the same thing on both sides is I was late to the party. Like I grew up left-handed throwing, right-handed hitter. And my dad, I don't know if he thought I was like Ricky Henderson or like, what the hell are we doing? Like, so like when I was like 17, I always mess around in the cage, hit left-handed. So I was playing summer ball. And I told my coach, like, hey, I want to try switch hitting. And he's like, all right. And to his credit, he was like, if you do this, there's no going back. Like you're going to do this for as long as you play for me for the summer. And I was like, okay. It was ugly first couple months, but then it was just another challenge. And so I started late switch hitting. And I think that's why I try to copycat my swing so much just to feel it.
So do you have the same feels? Sure, you're not a switch hitter, all right? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So maybe I should fucking try.
So yes and no. Like my lower half works better on my left side just because I throw left-handed. But I do some things right-handed that I can't do left-handed, if that makes sense. And I'm sure you have maybe something like that the same.
Yeah, my lower half works better lefty. And because I throw righty, I get really like top half hands heavy, where my right hand really tries to take over righty. So it's a lot steeper swing right-handed, and lefty a lot better plane. So that's like something I'm always trying to work on, is getting that plane to kind of even out and not be so steep, because I'll get steep and cut balls righty. Like I don't have that same pop the other way. Like lefty, left center, I have a ton of pop, and I've to this point in my career have not been able to find that same pop right-handed the other way.
Yeah, I think that's something so overlooked by the non-switch hitters out there, is like, first of all, how hard it is to do. And second of all, you do things on each side that are better than the others. And you have your weaknesses on each side, your strengths, but it's a tough gig. But going back to the bat I swung, couple years ago, I'm struggling at the time. My first year in Oakland, I had like a rough month, and we're playing the Astros. And I was I go up to Brantley, and I knew him a little bit, and I was like, "Hey, Mike, like, you send me a bat over, like whatever you're using is obviously working, and it's worked for a long time." Gave me a bat. We literally played an extra inning game that night. I was like 0 for 4 with a couple punchies. Come up with like winning run on second, base hit, win the game. I've used the bat ever since. Same model, same everything. So I'm going on like 2.5 years now with that.
That's a sick story.
Zach, how jealous are you right now that you can't join in this conversation?
Yeah, I mean,
my
complaining. No, but they say, oh yeah, you don't, people don't get that, you have two different deficiencies on both sides. Like, yeah, you don't face somebody throwing 98 from here behind you. You always get a good matchup.
Yeah, but you're swinging from the same side every day.
Yeah, but I'm also facing guys throwing literally behind me, moving from behind me to the other side of the plate.
Zack, I think you've said before that if you had to work on 2 swings, your head would blow off. Like you wouldn't be
No.
able to.
Would 100%. I don't know if Zach's mind
I
can.
would. In my next life, I'm going to be a switch hitter.
Quick question, Happer. Your kid.
Christ, you guys should have had your own podcast.
Your kid grows up, wants to be a pro baseball player, wants to follow in your footsteps. You let him switch hit or do you not?
I would.
Okay.
I would let him do it only because left on left is such a pain in the like you get labeled. I mean, you know what's fucked up? I don't know if you've ever had this in your career, but like even as a switch hitter, sometimes you can get platooned like pretty good.
Me in Oakland. Yeah.
Which is great. Doesn't make any sense. But like you're almost guaranteed to get platooned now if you're left only until you it's really hard to prove it, right? Like it's hard to prove it as a switch hitter, let alone as a lefty. So like I would just make sure, like if he wanted to switch hit, I'd be like, all right, you can switch hit, but like your lefty swing better be pretty good, and then righty can just be like you could supplement that. But like getting platooned is just such a pain in the ass. If you're lefty only, that would really stink. I guess righties don't get platooned as much, but
No, we just have to wear it.
wear it. Would you let your kid switch hit, or would you be like, nah, dog, focus on one? That's a lot.
First of all, I'll never let him be a left-handed thrower. You're just making the world hard on your
That's a toughie. Yeah.
Yeah, but
unless you're a pitch, it's literally like unless you're a pitcher, there's no
Exactly.
advantage to being a lefty.
Exactly. I don't know. I've always asked other switch hitters that question, and I've always wondered, like, what's their thoughts? Like, have they really? You find out who really have struggled with switching. I don't think I would. I would let them hit right-handed and just get real good at it. Get good on one side.
Just really dominate righty. If you come up and you dominate as a right-handed hitter, you're not getting platooned. If you come up as a lefty and you dominate, you're probably still getting platooned.
Agreed.
Until unless you're on a bad team and you got a chance to play every day no matter what, or you can prove it. But watching lefties get platooned is just so, I don't know. We've watched it so many times throughout the league. It's just brutal.
So both of you guys walk a lot though. Does one side affect the other, or like are you because Robbie, I know you walk, like watching you this year, like you walked a fuck ton. Like Hap, I don't know. Do you walk? I know you walk a lot lefty. Do you walk a lot righty too?
I'll go first because I'm not the guest. My first, early in my career, I did not walk as much righty. I made a lot of contact righty, and then the last 2 years righty, I've started to walk a lot more. But I've really been focused on. That's like been a huge focus for me. I've always walked a lot lefty.
I think it's about the same for both sides, but I think it was more just a product of like what system I was in Pittsburgh when I was coming up, and I always hit leadoff coming through the minor leagues, and they're like, "Hey, look, you got to take pitches," and I was like taking 2 pitches just to start on a bat at some points in the minor leagues, and it's just like I look back and I'm like, what the hell was I doing? But it did make me recognize what pitches I can really hit hard.
Is it tough? Is it tough mentally for the both of you when, like, say you're slumping lefty, but you're raking righty? Like, how do you really go about, like, are you sitting there like, fuck, I hope they bring in a reliever that's throwing this or that, like, just so that you can hit a certain side?
It's a good question. Do you have like, does one side leave you more often than the other? Or do you have like, I get that question all the time. But I'd like to hear your answer, Robbie. It's like which side do you like hitting from more? And for me, my answer is always like, I don't know, ask me tomorrow. Changes every day.
100%. That's how I feel. But I mean, I only hit right-handed till I was 17. So like, I feel like I can take the most time off. Obviously, it helps me because we face less lefties, but I can take the more time off right-handed and still be able to. I'm able to let the ball travel deeper on me right-handed, and I can play it off my hands a little bit more. But left-handed, I have to put in more work, but my swing is better, and I use the ground better. But I feel like right-handed, I'm a better contact hitter, and left-handed, I have more pop, and I can do more damage to the baseball. But it is day-to-day basis, and that's always something that you're juggling as a switch hitter.
Yeah. For me, there's times that like the righty's really locked and like I doesn't matter. But because, for the past 6 years, I've just seen so many more righties and gotten so many more left-handed at bats. I don't know if you look at my career splits, how many right-handed at bats I've got. It's not even, I don't think it's even 20%.
Yeah, for sure.
What were you going to say, Zach?
No.
Zach's itching over there.
No, I'm not. I'm done. Nothing.
It's
a baseball podcast.
It's tough to go back and forth because there's those days you go in the cage and you're facing a lefty and you the first couple of swings are left-handed. You're like, I'm locked in. Then you go right-handed and you roll the first couple over and you're like, uh-oh, like I wish a righty was throwing today, but then I'm gonna figure a way to make it happen.
Yeah. There's definitely been times during my career where I'm like 0 for 3 with 3 punchies lefty and they bring in a lefty reliever. I'm like, these fucking idiots. You've done me such a favor.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Was back to the walking thing, Robbie, this is the most you've walked in your career. Was it something mechanical difference or is just playing every day and not getting that platoon portion of the game?
I think more so just playing every day. When I was in Oakland, I just platooned. I just hit righties, and hopefully, I like during the game, if I swung the bat well enough, and they brought in a lefty reliever, I would face that lefty reliever, and then in hope of a righty coming back in. But the walk thing is just something that is kind of built on itself, and just realizing what pitches I can really hit hard, and that's what I got on that.
Got it.
I got a question on the career. I'm looking at your numbers right now. You raked. I mean, but there's the first time you played over 140 games was this year. Was it injury stuff or was it you were just literally grinding through platoon situations?
Just grinding through platoon.
What are we doing in baseball?
And I don't know, but lucky enough, I got that was my big thing when I got to free agency. Was like, find a place where you can play every day. And that was a really big deal for me. And going to Detroit, they gave me every opportunity to play every single day and show what I could do on a larger scale than maybe playing 100, 120 games a year.
For that in 2020 in Oakland, 51 games, were you playing every day?
I mean, I didn't play against lefties. I just platooned. And then my only right-handed bats would come against lefty relievers. But
did you get in there late if they had a righty throw and you got like 1 at bat late?
Yeah.
Oh God.
How
it's amazing. Like you let a dude play every day, puts up the best numbers of his career. It's a fucking shocker. Blowing everybody's mind. Go ahead, Zach.
How big, you're speaking of coming to
AJ.
Detroit and making that pick. Like how much of a factor was AJ? You played for him a little bit coming up your first year, I think you said. But like when you looked at it, were you like, yeah, AJ, like I'm going there?
Like you said, I had a previous relationship with AJ. I played with him 2015, the first year he got the job in Houston. And just the way he treated guys, the players, and how people respected him and how people just interacted with him. And I was like, and when he got the job in Detroit, I was like, this is going to be very interesting. And when they let me know that they wanted me to be a part of it, I was like, you know what, this is the best situation for me. I can go there. I know the manager. It's not me walking into a completely new situation. Like I at least know someone who's running the show over there. And it worked out great for me and get to be on this podcast with you, Shorty.
That's what I'm talking about.
Does Zach just chew your ear off every day with questions?
I know, it's great. We have in our clubhouse, we have a great time, and he just needs to work on his ping pong. That's the one thing he should be working on this offseason.
That's surprising because Zach is good at like
Robbie,
game.
Robbie, your nose is growing. Let's tell him what the real story of our ping pong.
I mean, if you want to see a grown man crumble, you want to see a grown man crumble, beat Shorty in some ping pong.
Is he going pout in his locker after?
I mean, it is epic.
He's a competitive guy, and he's good at the silent treatment when he loses.
What has happened was you beat me in Texas really badly, like 3 days in a row. And we came home, and I don't think you even made it till 10 points for the rest of the year.
I was trying to build you up the rest of the year.
See, you know what?
I was trying to put you in a good spot every day and not just come to the field and get beaten ping pong the first thing you do.
That's just a team guy. That's a team guy making sure that you're in a good headspace.
No, I will say that, you know, Robbie was great, you know, to me this year, especially, you know, being an older guy and making sure that I was always on that first Uber with him on the away games, you know, always taking me from the field to the hangar when we were flying somewhere. And even though, you know, he didn't take the losses as bad as I did, because if he beat me and I was driving him, he would have been walking or Ubering to the hangar.
I got a question about this year. I'm looking at your stat line: 20 doubles, 20 plus pumps, 20 bags. Was there any count and like at bats and plate appearances? Was there any like counting stats you had this year where like when you got there you were like, that's fucking cool? Like when you got like 600 plate appearances, or, you know, 20 bags, 20 home, like, or any of those numbers, like that's really fucking cool.
The 20 home runs was definitely like something I always wanted to do it, and I knew I could. I just it was just getting the opportunity at the end of the day. And when I got there and then got down to like the last month and I need like 4 more bags, and I was like, man, this is gonna be a grind. But luckily I snaked a couple and got there. And at the end I was like, man, 2020 is cool. That's something I'll always remember.
Yeah, I can't take that away from you. It's fucking awesome.
The best part about Robbie hitting 20 homers was, you know, there was a few guys on our team who did like the arrow coming around second base, like when you hit the homer. And, you know, Scope was huge on it. Akil was huge on it. Miggy, you know, was huge on it. And everybody tried to get Robbie to do it, and he wouldn't do it no matter what the situation was. So we were just like, Robbie, what do we got to do to get you to do it? And he goes, when I hit fucking 20 homers, I'll do the arrow. So he hits his 20th, and everybody is on the top step just doing this to him, and he finally did it. And everybody lost it. It was so good. It hurt him so bad to do it. so bad. Good.
I mean, it did hurt, but I promised you guys I'd do it, so I did it. It's something that I can never. I don't know. Maybe I came into pro baseball at a different time, and like it's just. Like I don't mind when people do it. I can't see myself doing it, if that makes sense. Like I just can't bring myself to do it. And that's the hardest part for me.
I'm the same way. I can't. That's really hard for me to guys look cool when they do stuff like that. I just like can't physically get myself to do it. It's very hard for me to show emotion on the baseball.
Exactly. That's how I am. I tell Shorty all the time, like, act like you've done it before. And then I'm like, well, I guess you maybe never have. So that's
when you're allowed to do it.
I didn't do it on my first homer, and I did it on my second one, was because it was kind of like a big situation, and I struck out 4 times the game before, and then my first 2 times in the next game. So it was 6 straight punch outs. So when I hit the homer, I was like, I am throwing this fucking arrow so far out of the stadium, and that was the last time I did it. I had to earn the other ones. And
is that when you went off Valdez?
That was my first one. The second one was in Texas, the one to left center.
That was a big boy home run, Shorty.
Yeah, you know, Comerica, Oppo.
Are you pumped about are the fences being moved in at Comerica this year, or is that still just like a rumor?
I mean, I hope to God so, but I
believe it when you see it.
You might be getting to 30 if they move those in.
Comerica's huge. I think there was 4 home runs total, home and away teams and all this last year. So
the one with the Miggy one was like 421 or 422. It would have been a grand slam to take the lead in the 8th inning. And like he gets back, and I mean, he's dealt with it for 20 years. Just fucking field. Oh, and like I'm kind of like smirking to myself, like, Miggy, you have 500 home runs, man. It's okay.
Yeah, the only like no doubter to center field is Josh Donaldson. Just absolutely.
No, and then laser. Harold. Remember Harold's? Harold's like 450.
Harold. Yeah, but Donaldson had a laser.
Donaldson was just like, it was like, I want to say it was less than 25 degrees.
Hits the ball so hard. Speaking of big boy homers, you hit one against us this year that was fucking way back.
Was it
Poolside? Yeah, was that it? Where was that? Your place?
Mm-hmm. I believe so. It was in Comerica.
I was playing center, I think. If I remember this correctly, I had just come back. I just came off the DL and I was playing center. And it was kind of late in the game. Maybe it was late in the, I don't know. You hit the ball and I was like, holy fuck. I didn't even move. It's just like, oh my God. Like way back.
Yeah, I finally caught that sinker out in front from Arietta.
That's what you got to do. People tell you to hit sinkers the other way. That's messed up. You can't do it. You got to get the head out in front of the sinker, get in the air. Oh no, just hit it. Just stay inside the sinker. Oh, that's a good way to roll it over, my friend.
Exactly.
I got one more. Today we were talking about Ohtani going on the cover of the show. When we played him this year and we got back in the locker room, how in awe was every single person on our team when we faced him?
Yeah, because we got a bunch of young guys on our team. Like if you played against him the last couple of years, he's in the same league as Trout, where they just need to make another league for those guys so they can go play. But I mean, Ohtani, if you can run like that, obviously pitch and hit, and when he pitched against us, I faced him when he's really good. I faced him when he's just been okay, but like us this year, we faced him and he was like 92, 94. And I was like, we're going to get this guy today. Like, we're going to get this guy. Every time he had a big situation, big pitch, 100 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. I'm just like, this guy's just playing with us now. Like, he
was laughing about it too, like legitimately laughing on the mound in like the 6th and 7th inning. He was sitting 98 and he just had like a smirk on his face the whole time. And we're just in the dugout and like, everyone's like, is this guy fucking serious?
Then he hit one about 118 out to right field.
Yep.
He really does need another league. He's just he's playing a kid's game where everybody else is grinding their bag off. And the fact that he runs as fast as he does is ridiculous. He deserves to be on the cover of the video game, all right?
I saw something. They MLB could have had a perfect opportunity to put, you know how it's the show. They could have just put like Showtime or like the SOH or SHO instead of MLB
that's
the show.
That's dangerous. Like changing the whole name of the game, though.
Just
the whole
for
name
1
of the
year.
franchise.
For 1 year. Or put like W in parentheses.
I mean, it would be sick, but you're dangerous.
Come on.
I wonder if he has some sort of. Wonder if he's got some sort of rights on that too. It's his last name. They might have had to really pay him out the ass for something like that. If it's
true.
Maybe not. Just trying to play devil's advocate for Sony.
Robbie Homer off Arietta, 442, 109.
Smoked. Telling you, look up that video. Smoked.
We just snuck out of Comerica.
There's not that many balls that are hit there that you don't move on. So to hit a ball there that was like a no doubter, like that is fucking demolished. That's one of those homers where the pitcher comes back in and he's like, fuck. That was hit hard.
Those are better as a pitcher, though. It's better when they really get you. Like the ones that are cheapies that just get out, those will piss you off. It's like he didn't even get that. But if they get all of it, you're like, all right, like, okay, shit on it. It's fair. You got me.
Sure. You got anything else for Robbie, or can we let him go?
I'm good. I'll let him go. I'll wait until a few weeks.
Yeah, you'll annoy him enough in about a month.
Yep. I got one for you guys. Who's winning the Super Bowl?
Rams. I'm a Lions guy, so I'm rooting for Stafford. But I feel like I did see this tweet. So it was a tweet that said, like, this has to be the most likable quarterback matchup of all time.
100%.
Like, I don't think anyone can be upset with either team.
I would find it hard to see Burrow not completing this run that he's on.
Could you fucking imagine? Oh my God, dude. He barely played last year. They had 4 wins and they go that it just proves to every team, no matter what you do, you can win the next year.
But the thing, it proves to everybody your quarterback's all that matters. 100%. You get a stud quarterback, any team can win.
Well, yep. Stafford was just grinding his bag off in Detroit, losing 100 games a year, and now he won't.
Well, all right, you got me there. That's a good point. Robbie, who do you got?
I'm a big Joey B guy. I want the Bengals to win, but I think LA's got too many stars. I think it's going to be tough for that line, the Bengals line, to stop Aaron Donald
might have
Von Miller.
Aaron Donald was looking so scary at the end of that game. Oh my God!
When he was screaming at the defense too, you're just like,
Oh, and they said that was so sick. They said like on the broadcast, they're like, Aaron Donald doesn't usually talk, but when he does, every single person listens. And I'm like, yeah, I'd listen to him.
Yeah.
He can tell me whatever, I'll do it. If he told me to only hit right hand for the rest of my career, yeah.
So you're saying Zach Wilson, there's a chance, Shorty, or what?
Hey, the Jets did beat the Bengals this year.
So did
Yes,
the
sir.
Bears. So did the Bears.
That's fine. Hey, Jets had 4 wins this year. Bengals had 4 wins last year. You get a second-year quarterback next year. The stars align. That's all I'm saying. I might wear my Zach Wilson jersey to camp first day this year. Who says no?
You won't.
No, you're right. I won't.
You
I
will
don't know
not.
if you got- I was like, I don't know if you got enough time for that yet, Zach.
Right, I won't.
You don't have the plums for that.
Nope.
That's you'd walk in and AJ Hinch would be like, what the fuck are you wearing?
He would say that.
Thanks, Robbie. This was great, man. We'll check in again during the season when you're fucking 15 pumps in at the break.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you guys having me on, and anything for Shorty. But it's nice to meet you guys, and hopefully we can catch up, talk some more switch hitting.
For sure, brother.
Thank you.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Robbie.
No problem. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again.
See you, man. That was Robbie Grossman, presented by Manscaped. Don't forget 20% off Manscaped. Code compound, manscaped.com. That was the Manscaped interview of the day. Just kidding. That was only for this one time. We'll see if they ever come back to us with another one after that.
Interview
that I
of the
gave
day.
Yeah. That was awesome with Robbie. It was great. That was the first time I've really had a long conversation with him. He also, I forgot to say this in the interview, but he reps the number 8. So we're like 8 buddies. We're like switch hitting 8 buddies.
Zach, you know what I just thought of? Verbal meme for us getting back-to-back weeks of a guest. Like look at us. Who would have thought?
Who would have
Verbal meme.
thought?
Paul Rudd.
Who would've thought?
Who would have thought? Look at us.
Hey, Tom, that's an idea for you to do on the Twitter. Maybe that'll get some love. Steal it from Dakota so he can't tweet it and get love.
Damn it. That's true. I'd
Well, you
rather,
could
go
do
to
it. Why don't you
I'd
do
rather it go to the compound anyway.
Whenever the compound comes out, you should tweet. Whenever the episode comes out, tweet the link to the episode. Look at us. That'll be a good tweet.
Will do.
Not you, Tom. Dakota should do it.
Yes. Sorry.
Never
Yes,
Not
sir.
you. Don't steal it, Tom. It's rude.
Yes, sir. I'll do it.
It's almost as rude as sitting there on your phone when we're recording.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. This has been a long episode. There's been a lot going on. Let's get to the screen time. But you know what I have to say about screen time? We got a big announcement. Big announcement
Huge.
for the compound.
Massive.
Huge. We have a sponsor for screen time. Sloan Screen Time, Sloan Valve, our favorite Chicago company. I don't know if everybody knows this. If you've been to Mesa, Sloan Park there, Sloan Stadium. What is it? Stadium Park? What is it?
Park. Sloan Park.
Sloan Park. They have their name on the spring training facility. They do a lot of stuff with us in AZ, but Chicago based. It's an awesome place. It's out in the burbs. Can't remember where. But if you're at a stadium, if you're going to the bathroom, chances are it's a Sloan toilet and some Sloan flushers and some Sloan valve faucets. They're doing it all.
Every guy at least has seen the logo Sloan before on a urinal. 100%. Or even on a faucet.
Next time you go wash your hands, see if it's a Sloan.
It's the very first thing Zach said. He said, I've stared at that a million times every time I went to pee at the facility in Mesa.
Yep. So we're really excited for Sloan to come on and do the Sloan screen time with us. So every
this is a big one.
episode,
like who's going to lose the first Sloan screen?
Yeah,
time?
first Sloan screen time. Every episode from here on out, we're Sloan screen time. I have a feeling Tom's going to lose. So let's do.
I was nervous. I'm really glad we don't record on like yesterday. Like I was texting nonstop about the games because they were so nuts. So I'm glad we do Mondays.
What do we got?
5 hours, 5 minutes.
4:43.
Damn it.
Tom.
5:17.
What was that?
5:17.
You couldn't beat me.
3:59.
So 4:59.
4:59. So
Zach's the winner.
Zach wins.
You won, but let's not forget
The best
that Tom
part-
lost.
The best part is every time we say Ian's an hour behind, we just assume that the very next hour is going to be complete screen time.
Completely and totally on my phone.
You don't think it is?
Yeah, it's true. It's a
Can
good
I
point.
just say that this Sloan screen time has been my favorite screen time we've ever done?
It's mine as well.
We actually have, all right, two more things before we go. Obvious Shirts is going to
Putting a store.
They have a new store. We're looking
And you're wearing
at,
them right now.
I'm wearing them, and they made this hat.
Sorry.
Obvious Shirts is going to do a Sloan screen time shirt for us. It's going to be really cool. And then we have a new Parsay shirt
Let's go.
coming out with Obvious Shirts. So when those two things come out, we'll talk about it. But we're going to go to obviousshirts.com. We're going to get some shirts.
And you can go to the store once the season starts. Actually, I don't know when they
You can go to the
open.
store.
Maybe Ian will know when they open. I don't know when they open.
At Sloan Park with Sloan screen time shirts.
Ooh, that's a
They
good
should
call.
sell those right outside the stadium. They should be maybe I'll be slanging those outside the stadium during spring training. Just handing out Sloan screen
Sorry,
time
Rossi,
shirts.
I can't play today. I gotta go
I
slang
gotta
some shirts.
slang a couple of shirts. I can't play until I sell 50 shirts. That's the rule. All right. This has been a great episode. I really enjoyed that interview. I can't wait until people hear it.
You
don't forget-
enjoyed that episode, that interview more than Zach
Yeah,
could
for
ever.
sure. Yeah, we're boys now. Don't forget to go to Benny's in Illinois and get your Parsay and
Rum. God,
I don't. Did you ever find it in New York, Tom?
No, you didn't. You didn't tell me where it was. If you tell me where it is, I'll go find it.
That actually is my fault. I'm a bad person.
I'm
gonna
not
have to,
feeling Tom's attitude though.
Tom is pissed at us right now.
Tom's had a long week. I think they were grinding on. They just had the playoffs. He's been grinding.
Can't say that. Got to cut it.
All right, edit it out, Tom. Damn it.
Good, more work for Tom. I got him.
4:30 a.m.
All right, I'm going back. Hold on. Let me restart this.
Parsay Rum in New York is at Post Wines, Sherry Lehman Wine and Spirits, Rye Book Wine and Spirit Shop, and America's Wine Shop.
That's in Rye Brook, not Rye Book. But
It says book on the site, so suck it.
Can you repeat that for all the
Parsay.
people that live in New York? Repeat it for all of our nice New York listeners.
Post Wines, Sherry Lehman Wine and Spirits, Rye Brook Wine and Spirit Shop, and then America's Wine Shop.
So if you're in New York and you're looking for Parsay, replay that 5 times and
Go
remember
to
where
a
it
wine
is.
shop. If you're in New York looking for Parsay, go to a wine.
If you're in Texas, Specs, Total Wine, if you have a Total Wine near you, and Benny's in Illinois. This has been a great episode 96 of the
96,
Compound
nice.
Podcast presented by Parsay Rum. We'll see you next week. Maybe we'll have 3 guests in a row. Ever seen a turkey? A little bowling turkey, little golf, 3 birdies in a row, maybe 3 guests in a row for the Compound. When I say Parsay, you say Rum. Parsay.
Rum.